I'm Lee Robinson from American Sentinel K9, and this is my son Connor, and this is our soon-to-be 11-year-old dog here in a couple weeks, Preacher Man. I wanted to talk about laws. There's basically three types of laws. We have God's law, which not everybody agrees with or believes in, so we won't discuss that anymore. The second law is laws of man, government. We create those for safety in a safe society. And the third law is natural law, which is the laws of nature, physics and biology. This is the one we're going to look at today, not the physics part, but the biology. Our founding fathers in America understood natural law. They said in the Declaration of Independence that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, to live as we wish, basically. And then in the Bill of Rights, they said the First Amendment, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the right to disagree, basically, is what that's about. And then the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms, is the right to protect one's freedom. Freedom doesn't mean you're free to agree with me. It means you're free to disagree with me. If we want others to appreciate that freedom, we need to be willing to offer it to others as well. And in the first 30 years of my life, I saw things get a lot better. The last 10, 15 years, not so much. I think a lot of it does have to do with 9/11 and the destruction of a stable economy that we've always had in my life. And the second reason, I think, is social media. It bothers me a lot on social media that I see people ask for liberty and freedom in one breath, ask for equality in one breath, and in the very next breath, they promote hatred and division and segregation. When people create organizations for one race or one gender or one age group, they're excluding others, which elicits a defensive response in us. When somebody says, I cannot be involved or I am not appreciated, it is my reflex to protect my interests, my family, the things that are valuable to me. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand natural law. I would at least expect dog trainers to understand it is natural response to protect oneself. This cannot be denied. It exists in every advanced species on the planet. The drive is a behavior to preserve oneself or their species. It's an instinctive response, basically, to display a behavior that's going to benefit your future, to ensure your future. Prey drive is the desire to hunt, chase, catch, and kill so you get dinner. Without dinner, you don't live. Okay? It creates forward action. Which is very important to protection dogs is defense drive. The desire to protect oneself, one's pack, if you want to call it pack, or loved ones, you use the words of your choice, your possessions, your territory. These are all defensive responses, and they also protect the future of oneself and the species. It bothers me a lot to see some of the things that I see where people are sharing every emotional feeling and not actually thinking about what they're saying. You cannot ask for equality in one breath and then in the next breath promote hate or division based off of segregation. This is not cool. If you want to have a United States of America, we have to offer freedom and liberty to other people. We have to offer equal opportunity to all people. If you exclude me on the basis of something that I cannot control, like my age, my gender, or my race, then you have kicked me out for something I cannot control. Our organizations need to be based off of our choices and beliefs. This is how we're going to unite as a nation again and heal our country again. I believe America is the best country on the planet. We got to where we are today for good reason. In 1776, we had a revolutionary war. We fought for our independence as a nation. We then wrote some rules to govern our land. 90 years later, we had a civil war. In the Civil War, yes, it was about state rights and federal rights, but it was also about the liberation of the black man. Sure, some issues still exist, But in 90 years, this country took a stance and ended something that existed for thousands of years. It goes back to the Egyptian times. Egypt was built off of slavery. And people that want to promote hate against this country don't realize this country is not to blame. This country has been a solution. And we need to appreciate one another. If we want peace, we have to be able to focus on the positives and not just the negatives. You need to say 10 positive things for every one negative thing. Because people will remember the negative much longer than they will the positive. So if you're all constantly attacking America or attacking one group of people, you're going to elicit that defensive response. Why? Because it's natural law. Get back on the right path. We've got a young one here, and we need to build a positive future.